And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event of the evening, and it is the third installment for the King of the Road tournament for the Group A drivers. We have 9 drivers working their way around Road America 12-lap race. We brought you coverage as soon as we could here just to make sure that we covered as much of it as we could. It's about a 24-minute race in length, and these drivers are working these about 2:01 to 2:04 lap times around this road course. Very long, very technical track, and only the highly skilled will escape unscathed. Right now, Bad Brad in the 34 scored in second, trying to hold off Even Steven in the 13. Strong qualifying effort for Brad, and trying to hold on to that position early in the going. Comes in just barely below the cut line to advance to round 2. It's Max Boost in the number 1. Chevy Camaro out front, the pole sitter. He won the pole for all 3 races here for his group, Group A, in round 1 of this tournament. I'm NOSSCAR CEO Tyler McMurder, alongside 2-time NOSSCAR champion Ayrton Frederick. We're bringing you live coverage of the King of the Road Group A race at Road America. Thanks a bunch, Ayrton, for joining me.
Yeah, glad to be here. So far, you mentioned a second ago, Bad Brad's up to second, which is great for him because he is right below the cut line. But as it stands, he's now pretty well above the cut line, because running in second, you get a few extra points over just third. So right now he's running very happily in fourth in terms of the points. And Mucka, who came in above the cut line, he's all the way back in fifth, so he's got to find a way to get back around Bad Brad.
He does. He's off to an all-right start in this race. He's running in the the 5th position is Mucka in the 2. At Front Row Racing League CEO, one of the very best on the NASCAR Heat games. And you're right, comes in tied at the cut line there. But actually, we should mention Landshark in the 3, unable to attend this race. He was tied with Mucka coming into this race. And so that leaves Mucka and Bad Brad separated by only 1 point at the beginning of this race to advance to round 2. And right now, Bad Brad qualified second for this race, and he's running there as well. Mucka running in 5th, as of now, would not advance to the second round of this tournament. So a lot of work cut out for Mucka in that 2 car. He's got a.k.a. Rubbernecker, the Canadian, right behind him there in the 6th position. The 12 of Brett Baker scored in 7th. It's the 00 of Hunt for 11 car. There you see him. He's scored in the 8th position, not too far behind these drivers. Everybody's got a shot to go up there and get good points still to advance their way to round 2. Problem is, Ayrton, we talked about this, it's not a long race. 12 laps at Road America is really not that far.
Yeah, it's not a long race in terms of laps, but this track is so huge, over 2 minutes, like you mentioned, for just 1 lap. And there's a lot of places where you can make just one little mistake. Right now, some of the drivers coming into a hard left-hander, which I believe is turn 3. Real easy on the brakes, because it's a real hard braking zone. It's real easy on the brakes to just kind of drift to the left. And it just puts you in the grass, and it's real easy to make a mistake there.
Problems that you just talked about, making mistakes there coming to the bottom of that hill. The lefty, Flash 9, 2020 NOSSCAR Platinum Cup champ, made a mistake there. Still holds on to the 4th position, but he's lost a lot of ground to the drivers he was battling with for 2nd and 3rd a moment ago. And now he's under fire from Mucka FRR in the 2, a.k.a. Rubbernecker in the 36. They're all right there in a line from 5th all the way back to the 9th position. And that's key points, that's critical points that Mucka in the 2 needs. Flash 9, 2nd in the point standings coming into this race. He's pretty safe to advance his way to round 2 unless he drops all the way to the tail of this pack and finishes 9th. And maybe some of these specific drivers get up there and finish 2nd and 3rd. Flash is pretty safe to advance to round 2. Bad Brad, not super safe coming into this race. 1 point below the cut line coming into this event. But as they run, he's scored in the 2nd position. And as of now, he would advance to round 2. He's got the 2-time NOSSCAR World Champion from Gran Turismo Sport just behind him, and that's Even Steven in the 13. He just recently signed up for Twitter earlier today. Follow him at 15 Krentz on Twitter.
And right now, Max Boost, he's long gone. I don't suspect we'll see him have any sort of action in this race. So right now, this battle for second is really key, because Bad Brad, who's fighting for that final spot on the cut line, he's running really really safe right now in terms of the points, but he's got a real talented driver, and even Steven right behind him, so these guys get a little too aggressive with each other. That could send Bad Brad back into the grasp of Maka in the 2-car.
It really could, because that other group is not very far behind. You're right, the group you're mentioning of Flash 9 and Maka, they're right here, heading into that downhill turn, and this is where Flash 9 made an error that most recent time by. He's going to be able to hold on to it better through this time. It is one of the more challenging sections of the racetrack. He's been able to put some distance in between himself and Maka FRR, who's being challenged by Brett Baker in the 12 car. Brett Baker, of course, the 2021 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series Daytona 500 winner. And he's looking pretty strong here in the road course race at Road America. He was unable to attend the 2 races earlier tonight in Mid-Ohio and Watkins Glen, so Brett Baker is not going to advance to round 2, which is a shame, folks, because as you can see, he would have been a pretty good contender for this type of environment, running in 6th and right there in good company with a lot of good road course racers, aka Rubbernecker right behind him, Maka and Flash 9 not too far in front of him. And the battle for second is still on here, Ayrton. The 13, Even Steven, putting pressure on Bad Brad. And I like the way that he's doing this. Even Steven applying pressure, but he's not putting his nose in and forcing him off the track. He's not being too aggressive and burning up his tires. He's just putting enough pressure to the point where he's making Bad Brad think about that 13 car a little bit, and it might lead to a mistake and a change in hands for the second place position. But as of now, Bad Brad having none of it in that number 34 Ford Mustang. Love the paint job on that car. He scored in second, and if he finishes here, he advances to round 2. But Ayrton, these drivers have one other way, one other opportunity that they can advance to round 2, and that's based on the fastest race laps. All 28 drivers that are eliminated in round 1, they will be measured based on their fastest race laps, and the top 2 will be selected into the second round of this tournament as well. So a lot of these drivers have an opportunity here. If they're late in the race, if they're not running where they want to be, it might be smart for them to come to pit road, grab 4 tires, take no fuel, maybe an adjustment, maybe some grill tape, and try to get a hot lap.
Yeah, you're right, and right now I wouldn't expect to see any of that. Right now we got a couple of the guys in the second group actually going off the track. Maka's falling all the way back. He hit the gravel trap at the bottom of the hill, so that's really going to hurt him in the cut line situation. And now he might have to start thinking about that fastest lap situation, because he really lost a lot of ground there. But in that little train of cars, he might be able to catch back up to him. But that is huge. Flash, I think, hit the gravel trap as well, so maybe they made a little bit of contact. I didn't quite see all of it, but I saw both of them off track for sure.
I did see it, but and I didn't get a perfect angle of it, though. I think from what I saw, I don't think there was any contact. I think that Maka drove in really hard going down that hill towards the left-hander, the same way Flash 9 did, trying to get as much time as he can to try to get away from the cars that were right behind him. Maka was being hounded by a few cars, and I think he just overdrove and went off the course. But yeah, that's a tough break, because he needs to get up there and challenge Bad Brad before the end of this race if he wants to advance to round 2. So far, the top 4 drivers that are going to advance from Group A over to round 2 are Max Boost in the 1, Flash 9 in the 47, Even Steven in the 13, and it would be Bad Brad in the 34 as well. But if Maka can get up there, and if Bad Brad makes a mistake or two, it can all change in the blink of an eye. So keep it tuned here, folks. Keep it live here on NASCAR Series Racing on the YouTube channel. Hit the like and subscribe button. And thanks a bunch to everyone who's been joining us all night long for Group A's Round 1 races on the road courses.
Just watching this battle for P2, Even Steven is not letting that 34 car go. He's not, like you mentioned earlier, he's not forcing the issue, but he's definitely close enough where that 34 car could overthink a corner and then overdrive it. And right now he's kept it nice and steady, but I've seen a little bit of mistakes from both of them. Definitely pushing it, but both of them keeping it really clean, and definitely liking the way the 13 car is just applying pressure but not forcing the issue. Doing
a great job, you're right. Both drivers very talented here on NASCAR Heat 5. Bad Brad, one of the very best here on NASCAR Heat 5 on the ovals. In fact, he's dominating in 2 leagues that he currently runs in, and a lot of his friends vouched for him heavily before this tournament, and that's why he's here. He's qualified into the King of the Road tournament. came into this race 1 point below the cut line, runs in second right now at Road America, and he's looking pretty good for advancing to round 2. He's got even Steven right behind him, and as you mentioned, Ayrton, he's doing a great job hitting his marks and being smooth, clicking off quick lap times. It seems like every time even Steven gets close enough to make a run, he can't find a way around him, and then he's got to backpedal and try again. It seems like Bad Brad hits his marks again and drives away a little bit, and then even Steven finds his speed again and gets back to him. It's been a high-speed chess match between these two at Road America today for the second place position.
Yeah, definitely. Interesting thing I've always noticed about this track is there's so many different corners and a lot of different ways to approach the corners. Well, like you mentioned, the 34, he pulls away, but then the 13 closes right back in. It's just how big the track is and how technical it is drivers and their own philosophies of the track can really take one section differently than the next, and it's real interesting to see how the lap times are the same, but the sort of lines the drivers take are very different.
Couldn't agree more. These drivers are masters of their craft, but many of them do take different approaches to how they run these road courses. We have a good battle here. Flash 9 being hounded by Brett Baker, 2021 Platinum Cup Daytona 500 winner in the yellow number 12 Ford Mustang, drawn alongside Flash 9 in the 47 Chevy Camaro. And they're going to be side by side heading towards that turn that we've seen a couple of drivers have issues with. Ayrton and heavy braking zone. Flash gets really loose trying to get on the brakes. He's going to hang on to it, but he's going to lose the 4th place position to Brett Baker. The good news though, Ayrton, Flash 9 second in the points coming into this race. The fact that he's in 5th and he just let a driver that's making his first start in Group A by him, he's not really in danger of not advancing. So as long as he just kind of keeps doing what he's doing, he doesn't really have too much to worry about.
Yeah, he's not in a lot of danger whatsoever. He'd need a tragedy to happen really for him to fall out of the points. But yeah, like you said, he let the 12 car kind of by. He raced him a little bit down the straight, but he didn't really force the issue at all. Glad to see that they kept it going the right way into that left-hander. But yeah, he's racing it safe, letting the race come to him, and he should be pretty comfortable to just kind of run his own race here at Road America.
Not too far behind him is Mucka FRR, Front Row Racing League CEO. He scored in the 6th position. Needs a solid finish here so he can edge Bad Brad for the final spot in the 2nd round to advance to round 2. But he's not out of it. Those fastest race laps, that'll come in handy, and Mucka is the type that'll lay down some very fast laps throughout these road course races. So he very well could be one of those 2 drivers that advance to round 2 because of the fastest lap race rule. And aka Rubbernecker in the 36 is drawing a little bit closer for that 6th position, but not close enough yet to challenge for the position. A little deeper in the field, we have Hunt for car 11, scored in the 8th position. He's not too far behind that battle I keep mentioning between the 2 and the 36. So we'll keep our eye on him as well. Very talented sim racer here on NASCAR Heat 5. We should mention to everybody, the drivers featured in this tournament are top-notch road course ringers, and even the drivers running towards the back on the running order are still very talented, and they dominate a lot of the leagues that they come from. So giving a call and a salute to all these drivers for coming out and participating in the 1st annual NOSSCAR King of the Road tournament. They're all chasing max boost in the number 1 Chevy Camaro.
Yeah, watching the battle for second, even Steven Trent Krentz, he's really falling back. I just saw him make a mistake at it. I believe they call it the Corvette corner, the little uphill left-hander. He kind of just took it too sharp, and that happens as you go up the hill. The car gets real light and just can come out from under you, and it looked like that's what happened, almost at the inside wall, which is really rare, especially on a road course. So he kept it clean, but he definitely lost a lot of ground to Bad Brad, who's definitely very happy to see that 13 out of his mirror.
Absolutely, and the tension is dissipated for Bad Brad. He can breathe a little easier, a sigh of relief for the driver of the 34 Ford Mustang running in 2nd, and if all hold station, he advances to round 2 of the King of the Road tournament. And even Steven, 2-time NASCAR World Champion from Gran Turismo Sport, very new to the NASCAR Heat games, but coming along very quickly. Top 5 finishes in all 3 of NASCAR's major series on the Heat games, and a lot of those were on road courses. Running in 3rd, he knows that he's in a good position to advance to round 2, so at this point, I don't think even Steven's pushing too hard anymore, especially now that the 34 of Bad Brad has kind of gained about 20 car lengths on the driver of the 13. No point, no reason to push at this moment of time. Everybody is kind of spread out over the course of this 4-mile road course. Excuse me, 2.5 miles, I believe. I'm going to have to double check that. And they're all chasing max boost in the number 1 Chevy Camaro. 12-lap event. We knew that these drivers didn't have too much time to get to the front. And we knew that some of these drivers would be overdriving, knowing that there was a lot on the line, knowing they needed to get some points or the fastest race lap they possibly could. We knew some mistakes were going to be made in this race. Just a little surprised that one of them was made by Flash 9. Thankfully, he comes in with a healthy cushion over that cut line, and right now holding on in the 5th position. Just recently tied me for the most all-time NASCAR Platinum Cup Series wins with 24. So congratulations to him as he soldiers on here at Road America. Ayrton, you won the Brickyard 160 at the Indy Roval for the NASCAR Platinum Cup Series earlier this season. You're a road course ringer yourself. You're in Group C for round 1. What are you learning from sitting here in the broadcast booth and watching these races tonight?
Couple things I've noticed. Number 1 was definitely start worrying about fuel at Mid-Ohio. We saw at the end of the last race that fuel does become an issue, so I will definitely have to take note of that. Another thing is it's a short race, and you don't really have to worry about pitting except at the end of Mid-Ohio, unless if you can save it. So you really got to get yours at the start, and then just kind of, it seems to fan out towards the end of the race, so you got to get what you can when everybody's bunched up, especially in such a small field that we're going to have in each group. You got to get the most of the track position that you can, and if you can't, taking the risk of pitting and getting the fresh tires would probably be the smartest move if you're not going to finish inside the top 5 or 6.
Absolutely, and you know that it's going to burn you for points in that race, but like you mentioned, if you're back there anyways, and if you know based on points it's not going to get you anywhere close within 1 or 2 races left in your round, you might as well try to get that fastest race lap. So I've been learning the same, and I've been keeping tabs on some of these drivers who did decide to go to pit road, take on 4 fresh tires to get those fastest race laps. I salute those drivers. They're doing everything that they can to advance their way into round 2. We have some of the very, very best road course ringers in NASCAR Heat video game history competing in this tournament. 45 drivers from 5 countries: USA, Canada, Mexico, Great Britain, and France, all represented in this amazing tournament. Inaugural year for it. And we're watching one heck of a race here at Road America. Good battle between Flash 9 in the 47 and Brett Baker in the 12. That's for the 4th and 5th positions. It's not a very important point to Flash 9, but still the bragging rights are there. Brett got a little bit loose, and he's going to surrender the 4th position to Flash. He's going to tuck in right behind that Chevy Camaro going into the next lefty, but he got really out of shape coming out of that corner. Brett Baker did, and that's going to allow Flash 9 to drive away by about 7 or 8 car lengths, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, I noticed at the beginning of the lap going into turn 2, Brett had a pretty decent gap on Flash, but going into turn 2, car just came out from under him, and he cut the corner similar to how even Steven did earlier on. The car just, when you're on the brakes going down the hills, the car just veers whatever way you don't want it to go, and that's what happened to Brett, and ultimately ended up costing him a 4th spot.
Yeah, the cars seem to be very sensitive under braking, especially here at Road America. The corners of Mid-Ohio, not so much, but I don't know why, but at Road America, the cars appear to look very unstable at times when these cars and these drivers are under heavy braking, especially coming down into the turn we just saw Max Boost come out of, and that's that left-hand turn at the bottom of the hill. We've seen a couple of drivers, even some of the very best in this tournament, make a mistake here today in that turn. Flash 9, Mucka FRR, and they paid the price for it. Lost track position, lost some car lengths to their competition, and having to soldier back before the end of this one. It's still Max Boost leading, with Bad Brad running in 2nd and Even Steven running in 3rd. Flash 9 runs in 4th. Brett Baker rounds out the top 5. There you see him in the number 12 Ford Mustang. And behind Brett, you'll find Mucka FRR And the number 2 Ford Mustang scored in the 6th position, aka Rubbernecker, one of 2 Canadians in this tournament, running in the 7th position. And rounding out the field, hunt for car 11 in the 00 Chevy Camaro. Might have to check the one car for steroids after this, Ayrton.
I was gonna say he's half the track ahead of the next best car, and if my math is correct, he's about to take the white flag, but I might have missed a lap or two just watching the action. I've got a lap chart in front of me, and it's easy watching all these guys go around to forget to check every box. So I believe this will be the white flag. If not, maybe the checkered. He's still going, so this should be the last lap once everybody crosses the line.
I'll tell you, you're so much better at keeping track of what lap we're on than I am. Let me tell you, thank you for being here. Thank you for doing commentary for the Group A races for the King of the Road tournament.
Oh, my pleasure. I love watching these guys. And we got a battle for 4th again, or 5th. I believe it's 4th. Flash just ran wide at the right-hand kink, and Brett just drove by on his outside.
It is a battle for 4th, you were right. And whoa, Flash got a little out of shape there. He found the inside wall, and then he found the quarter panel of Brett Baker. They both soldiered out of there, but contact was made. They're still side by side, Ayrton.
Yeah, and going up in that left hill, Flash kind of backed it down going into the corner, and he kind of closed up on Brett a little bit, but it's real hard to pass in that last right-hander that kind of veers right a little bit and then tightens up the further it goes. So it's real hard to pass there, and Flash going to get it done to take that spot back. So Brett, going into what I believe will be the final lap, has 4th spot.
Wow, and good run for Brett. The shame about this is Brett was unable to attend the first 2 races of this group, and based on the rules of this tournament, he's not allowed to just jump in a different group and say, hey, let me run today. This was his shot tonight, and it's a heartbreaker. He's a good friend of mine, 2021 NASCAR Daytona 500 winner. He's running 4th in the only race that he's entered here in the King of the Road tournament, so it's a shame that he didn't enter the first 2. The only thing going for Flash 9 at this point, that's not a very valuable point in front of him, Brett Baker. He doesn't need to get that point to advance. He doesn't need to hinder Brett's point total to advance. Flash 9 just doing everything he can to make sure he gets to round 2. As they run, Even Steven is going to advance. And Bad Brad, that might be the story of the race, folks. He was arguably 4th to 7th place material in the first 2 races tonight. But here he is running in 2nd pretty much all race long at Road America since the drop of the green flag. He qualified there as well. Very impressive race for the 34. He's going to end up advancing to round 2 with this performance. And Max Boost has captured the checkered flag. He wins at Road America. A clean sweep for the Winter Heat Series race winner at the Indy Roval, Max Boost. I don't know if he's dumping an energy drink on himself after these ones, but congratulations to one of the very best sim racers here on NASCAR Heat 5 and all of the NASCAR Heat games, especially on the road courses, but one of the very best overall. What a run, what a job, what a start to the tournament for Max Boost. It was a max points round for Max Boost.
Absolutely, and Bad Brad just took the checker flag for himself, so very clutch performance to come in below the cut line, do what he needed to do, take home 2nd place, and he's going to advance to the next round on points.
How about that? Very proud moment for Bad Brad. Didn't know too much about him coming into this tournament, just knew that he was currently dominating in 2 of the leagues he's running in, but more so on the ovals. But how about that? Getting the job done here on the road courses tonight. Didn't get the finishes he was hoping for earlier at Watkins Glen in Mid-Ohio, but he soldiered on, kept his nose down, kept his chin up, stayed focused, battled back, and he's going to advance. Flash 9's going to advance. Even Steven in the 13 is going to advance as well. Heartbreaker for Mucka FRR in the 2. Ran so strong all round long, and his fastest race laps will hopefully get him into round 2, as will Rubbernecker in the 36. Hunt for car 11 in the 00 as well. Congratulations to Max Boost. And we'll throw it over to Ayrton Frederick. Ayrton, take away what you saw in this race, sum it up for us, and what do you think we could expect for the rounds for the rest of the tournament?
This race was definitely about everybody who was in a tight situation trying to do what they could. And we saw that with Bad Brad, did exactly what he needed to, qualified real good, and on a track that really requires good track position, just stuck it in there in 2nd, ran 2nd all race, and kept his nose clean, kept it on the track. So really proud of him for advancing. It's a shame for Mucka to fall out on the points, but I'm sure with how fast he is, he should be good, at least for the time being, in terms of fastest laps. But with the next couple groups, he might get knocked out on fastest laps as well. So it's not over till it's over, especially in this first round. So it will be interesting the rest of the week.
Even Stevens' second fastest lap of the race. Flash 9, third quickest lap of the race. Bad Brad with the fourth quickest lap of the race. But they were all trying to run down that one car. Based on what you've seen, Ayrton, does anyone have anything for Max Boost, even if they can get all the way to the final round?
So far, I can't say there is anybody. We saw him go from the lowest to lowest. He got wrecked out on the second corner of Mid-Ohio and came all the way back past 8 cars in just 7 laps. So, I mean, he is going to be a real tough competitor, and I'd put my money on him as it stands.
Me too, but I would also like to remind the viewers at home, don't forget about a couple of key drivers in this tournament. Salzano 14, Vintimidator, Cola Motorsports, JCR Clashin, NASCAR Oof, Ayrton James. There's several other drivers that are going to give Max Boost a run for his money, but folks, safe to say Max Boost 27 is arguably the favorite to win the 2021 NOSSCAR King of the Road tournament. A max points round, a max points night for Max Boost. Any final thoughts, Ayrton, before we close the broadcast?
Great racing by everybody, even the guys who didn't quite get above the cut line. Everybody gave it their all till the very end. We saw guys who weren't running well still push for the fastest lap, so really good to see. Everybody who's here deserves to be here for sure. Definitely going to be really competitive all the way to the very end.
Great stuff. I couldn't agree more. And I'll tell you, I'm going back to the drawing board. We got our work cut out for us for the Groups B and C races. Folks, to catch some of the action from Group B and Group C Round 1 King of the Road action, tomorrow night on the NOSSCAR YouTube channel, live from my personal onboard view, you'll ride along with Timac 11, and we will also select a race from each of the races in each group to premiere live on the NOSSCAR Series Racing YouTube channel. We will leave a link to their personal YouTube channel in the video description. Just a way to promote the drivers in our tournament and to give everybody a different perspective on each of the Group B and Group C races in Round 1. Very easy for me to say. Thank you to everybody who tuned in tonight. Group A, their Round 1 races are in the history books. Max Boost, Flash 9, Even Steven, and Bad Brad advance to Round 2, but keep your eye on Mucka FRR, aka Rubbernecker, Hunt for Car 11, and several others from Group A. They will be looking to advance based on their fastest race laps in these 3 races tonight that you witnessed. They got to be quicker than the drivers that don't advance from the rest of the 3 groups here in Round 1. And that's not going to be an easy task, knowing that there is about 28 to 30 of them. That's going to do it, though, folks. Max Boost wins. And we will see you tomorrow night.